interviewed other attorneys, and Shari, by far, I felt the most comfortable. My name is Bill. A while back, I found myself in a very tough situation. I needed a divorce attorney. I had come to the realization that my marriage was not going to be a permanent thing. It was not work. I had exhausted all of my means, and I was in need of a divorce attorney. I went out to get some recommendations from friends on who they had used, and I came up with Shari Goldsberry. I interviewed her at her Texas City office. I felt like we could work together on this, and that she understood the situation I was in and was willing to help me through it. I found myself in a situation where I had a divorce that just included property. All of my kids are grown, and I needed someone that understood property division. I had built a house from scratch, and I had some sentimental value in that house. I had a business that I had started from scratch, and I needed to take control of that business and not have it subject to being split up. Sat down with Shari. I explained everything to her. She seemed to understand where I was coming from. Unfortunately, this was not my first divorce. I had had a divorce 20 plus years ago that involved a minor child, and I knew a little bit about the process and what was expected. I needed an attorney that would work with me and for me. I interviewed other attorneys, and Shari, by far, I felt the most comfortable. I had built the house personally, put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the house, and I needed someone who understood that the value of the house was not just the value, that there was some emotional attachment to my home. And I didn't want to take a case of the home being forced sale, that I wanted the house. Shari and I sat down, we went over all the assets, all the liabilities, and everything that I had under my control, and we formulated a plan to move forward. I wanted to make sure that I had an attorney that was not afraid to fight all the way to court if need be, to show strength during negotiations, as well as build a case in case we did end up in front of a judge. We sat down and we kicked ideas back and forth how to proceed on this. Shari gave the ideas out how she thought it should go. I gave my ideas out how I thought the best path was to be taken. We ended up somewhere in the middle. I always thought Shari was listening to me and paying attention to what I said. From the first meeting I had with her, I was introduced to her team. Everybody was on board. Chris and the rest of them were very intimately versed on my case, so we were able to move forward together. Anytime I called the office and left a message for Shari, the phone calls were returned immediately. The office staff returned calls. Any documents that needed to be signed, they stayed on me till I got them signed. Any information that they needed, I was gently nudged along to get it to them. And I really appreciate that. Having gone through a divorce previously, I could tell the difference in the way her office worked and other attorneys worked. During the whole process, Shari kept reminding me that there was life after divorce. We kept a goal or an idea moving forward, that there was a plan and we were going to execute the plan. Now that I'm divorced, I have my home, I have my business, and I'm very happy. Shari did a very good job for me, and I would highly recommend her to anybody. during the process, I was very comfortable in the thought that I was getting real value from Shari. I don't feel like she padded the bill or anything else. The invoicing was very accurate. I was not nickeled and dimed to death. Matter of fact, there were times that I talked to her that she did not charge me. Felt like we became good friends and we were working together.